got another kind of grilled cheese for you today, and it's not a sandwich. If you've never tried halloumi, which is a sheep's milk, usually it's a sheep's milk cheese from Cyprus. It's also made in Greece and in Turkey. It's a very firm cheese. It almost has, it's very firm. It looks almost like mozzarella when it's cold, but you can actually cook it alone. You don't need bread, you don't need anything. You can put it directly on a grill and it'll hold its shape. It gets a little bit melty, but it's a really fun thing to try if you've never tried it. And I'm going to pan fry it today and serve it with a little bit of pomegranate seeds and fresh mint and pomegranate molasses, and you won't believe how delicious this is. Sometimes you'll find halloumi that's been marinated in herbs. Sometimes it'll be just plain. It's found in the specialty area of a lot of supermarkets. And it makes a great party appetizer when you grill it up, or you can put it on top of a salad or put it along with some roasted vegetables. It's pretty versatile, and I'm going to show you how to make it today. So I'm just going to cut it into sort of thin slices, and you can see that it's very dense. And when you cook it, it actually gets this really interesting texture. It's almost a little bit chewy or rubbery, which doesn't sound very good, but it's actually kind of fun, and you'll get a nice brown crispy crust on the outside, which makes it, I don't know, it gets a little bit addictive. You want to keep having it. So I'm just cutting it into, these are actually probably about 1/4 inch slices. You can make it a little thicker, but they cook very quickly, and so I just like to cut it thin, and so it's easy to just brown and serve. And since I'm pan frying it, I'm going to dredge the cheese in just a little bit of plain all-purpose flour. I think it helps make it a more even crust, and I just sort of happen to like it that way, but you can definitely just go ahead and put it directly into the pan without a problem. And if you're grilling, you don't need to use anything at all. Just put the pieces straight onto a hot grill. You do want to watch it because on a grill it will start to melt just a little bit, and it can go through the grate on the grill and be kind of a mess. So keep a plate handy and a good spatula to scrape it up. So I'm just dredging the cheese and a little bit of flour, and then I'm going to throw it into a hot skillet with just a little bit of olive oil and brown it up. Alright, my olive oil's heated up, and I'm just going to gently lay the halloumi slices into the hot pan. And they'll brown very quickly. And halloumi is a very salty cheese, so you want to make sure not to add any salt to it, or it'll be way, way too salty. And I know it's tempting, especially when you've got something in a skillet, to just season it up a little bit, but just hold off on the salt, trust me. Alright, my halloumi is nice and browned, and halloumi is best served hot, I think. You can leave it out and serve it at room temperature. It'll still taste delicious, but the warmth just makes the texture kind of nice and the crispness and the heat. So I recommend serving it right after you've pan fried it. Luckily, because it cooks so quickly, it's still a fine party food because you can fry it up and put it out there and let your guests go. I like to serve mine with some pomegranate arils, or pomegranate seeds, whatever you like to call them, and some thinly sliced fresh mint and a little bit of pomegranate molasses. And pomegranate molasses can be found in lots of Middle Eastern and Mediterranean stores. I actually make my own by reducing pomegranate juice with sugar until it's very thick and syrupy. And what I think is really good about it is that the sort of sweetness of the pomegranate molasses, and then the sort of sweet tartness of the pomegranate arils, and then the freshness of the mint really play nicely with the saltiness and the sort of savory taste of the cheese. And it's really a great party dish, and it's really delicious if you're on your own too. But I just sprinkle the pomegranate arils over the top, drizzle it with the pomegranate molasses, and then hit it with a sprinkling of fresh mint. And not only is it visually appealing, but it's also incredibly tasty.